All right. Hello, everybody. Ninja back again with video 2, lesson 3 for our basic sabering series. Just a quick recap of the last video. We kind of covered 2 lessons in one. Your basic swings with red, your basic attacks with red, combos, and then how to attack online and escape from attacks. We also covered counters, correct, Niels? That way I'm not skipping that. Yeah, okay. So with all that put into play, now we're going to cover your basic fighting footwork for each style for single today. We'll go into staff and some other things later. And today we're going to just cover versus another red style or strong style for your single sabers. So the first one we're going to do is red versus red or strong versus strong. And the keys are in the bottom right hand corner for you this time. Now in these attacks, generally when you set up a Kyle or a NPC and you're practicing. Okay, apparently that's you're generally going in a straight line when you're hitting this opponent. But in a duel, you're not using the W key and you're not using the S key as much as possible. You're actually moving with A and D and kind of using those sideways moves to attack your opponent and to escape. They're a little faster. The W key running forward and the S key running backwards is a little bit slower than a sideways key or A and D key and the movement of the mouse. So in an actual duel, we're not attacking forward and we're not running backwards to escape. We're moving A and D left and right and using our mouse in and out. All right, Niels. I don't know. This is actually easier if we do just duel. If you'll focus on my mouse movements, I will use a lot of bait shots as far as kind of these open swings to kind of draw him into me and hopefully land a solid counter. Now with these jumps he's doing, it doesn't take much to dodge those. Typically if it's a straightforward jump, it's just an A or D key out of the way, and you can actually just tap the A or D key to dodge. Excuse the train in the background, you guys can hear that. And don't forget, the more you move that mouse, the faster you'll move. I think I covered that in the last lesson. So if they're chasing you and they seem to be getting closer, just kind of wiggle that mouse around or move that mouse and get off that line of attack. Now, red versus red style is typically a very long duel, especially if both opponents are good at what they're doing. It's more of a match of who can draw first blood and who can stay safe or unhit the longest. So it's kind of a chess match. Like I'll make a move to see if I can draw him into a checkmate, and it can take a long time if you're fighting another good player. Now, obviously, you saw I wasn't doing any aerial attacks or anything like that. For basic sabering, we tend to stay away from those because an aerial attack, though it can land a lot of damage, and it's a fast attack, especially a low jump, it's very dangerous. It's very easily countered. And as you can see, when he jumped after me, all I had to do was make a slight change of my movement, and I can dodge him. So we tend to stay away from the aerials until you have a solid footwork. And we're going to do that one more time, red versus red, and then we'll move on to the medium style or yellow. And I'll actually have to cover the basic movements of that in before we duel. Now you see there, that's a feint that I'm doing. I'm drawing him in with the first swing, and then I'm coming back in with what we generally call a delay swing, which I'll cover that in a later video. But you don't have to do that. You can actually just draw them in with a normal swing, or even a second combo swing, or a third. It's just all about timing. You got to be able to read your opponent. Our guardians, generally what I have them do as they're fighting, or as their classmates are fighting, I have them watch for their classmates' mistakes, because it causes them to be able to read their opponent. You're reading and looking for when your opponent's making a mistake. And that's a big thing in this game. You have to be able to watch your opponent, watch the model, see when his swing starts, see when he might be moving wrong, or maybe he slipped up, or that's what you're looking for, those openings. All right. So next we are going to cover. Next we're going to cover the yellow style or medium style. Now these are faster but shorter swings, but very dangerous, especially on most of your servers that are using multiplayer or MP damages. This server here is a multiplayer server with multiplayer damage. So the yellow or medium style has a base attack damage of 45 hit points each swing. So even if it's a glancing blow and I barely hit him, it still has a base attack damage of 45. So the same thing goes for yellow or blue, medium or fast, as we do for the red style. It's back and forth with A and D key, and we swing the saber in and out. Now you have two attack styles with yellow. You can do single swing counters in a U or even a figure 8 motion, or you can do a 2-hit swing or a 2-hit combo in and out. Now these are fast, but the defense for yellow is pretty low. So you are relying almost solely on counters here and your timing. If your timing's off by a second, you're gonna get hit hard, and it's gonna damage you a lot, especially versus red. So the timing here is crucial. I do not recommend yellow until you get the red timing down. But what I'm looking for here in the red combos or the red counters, we were attacking when the opponent started their swing. So right when you saw the swing start, that's what we are attacking at. With yellow, because it's medium, we're going for mid swing for a red swing. So I'm going to wait for Neil's saber to be right out in front of him on a D swing, right in the middle, before I actually start my counter. Now remember, it's A and D. and I'm going to turn in with the saber and out with the saber. That's what's going to speed my attacks up, in and out. If you stay in a straight line without turning that saber, it's going to, you're going to end up getting hit because you're not moving out fast enough. All right, here we go, Neil. So, as you can see on an MP server, full health doesn't mean much versus yellow if you land a few solid hits. Now that was the 2 swing combos. I'm gonna do the single swing counters. If I can hit you. Apparently not. All right. Oh, too far out. Now, as you can see, what I'm doing here is a U motion. I'm not coming back where I came from on those single swings, because you're prolonging the distance there, because now I'm turning back around and I'm not swinging, so I don't have any real defense going there. So what I'm doing is I'm swinging through the opponent, continuing with A, out, and then I'm going to come back in with D, swing through him, and continue out away from him. Now, if your timing gets good enough, you can attack 2 or 3 times in a red combo. I tend to tell you not to attack versus a diagonal combo because it's faster and you're way more likely to get hit and countered. But those 2 D swings that are real popular amongst players, those are the ones that you want to counter there. So I'm going to do it one more time. This time I'm going to do the 2 swing combo once again. And Nails is going nuts. Now you saw there, I missed him and I stayed out here too long. So when I came back in, I came back into his next swing. So the timing's crucial. And you see there when I counter him, even though he's swinging, even though I'm running by him when the swing's happening, if your timing's correct, that second swing won't register. Now, if you're too early, you're either going to get hit. You might have a saber clash. If you're too late, you're going to get hit. You might get lucky in MP damages and be able to block it with an actual block or a parry. But that's not something that we want to rely on. We want open, just solid counters. Now, with yellow style, now my distance is a lot shorter. You notice with red, I was about 4 spaces away from him to start a swing. Now I'm half of that. I'm 2 spaces in. So I want to be just outside of his saber swings throughout the duel. Now generally, if I'm using a medium style and my opponent's using red, if they're fighting correctly, they're going to play pretty defensive. They want to stay back and they want to counter or have me run into their swings. If they get too aggressive, yellow can eat them up at that close distance, especially on those slow swings. So as a yellow player, it's going to be kind of a passive-aggressive type of gameplay. I'm going to try and stay as close to him as I can, where it's just outside of his saber swing, and then counter when he happens to make a mistake. Don't get too aggressive. If you're doing more than 2 swings at a time, it's too much. Now notice I'm just using A and D keys here, and I'm using my mouse to follow him. Now I did 3 swings there, but I had his back. I don't want to go straight in on him with a spam where I'm out here swinging multiple times, because it's just giving him all the opportunity to come back in with one of those big red swings. Oof. And he catches me while I'm talking. There we go. All right. So it's hard. especially for newer players. If you're not used to playing without that W and S key, I normally recommend to unbind them. Just go in your controls, take it out. You got to get used to being able to just use that A and D key and relying on that mouse movement. It gets confusing. It gets you can get lost real quick. I don't recommend having a really high sensitivity. Keep it on your default sensitivity until you get used to it, and then if you can play it a little higher if you want to, fine. But you got to get used to that, and if you don't, you're going to be out here in the middle of a swing or middle of a duel, and you're just spinning all over the place because you don't know what you're doing, or you haven't got the feel for that sensitivity yet. So start with your default. I would also recommend maybe having something like this where you got a guy that's just swinging at you, and you get used to just dodging him, maybe coming in and bumping him, and then getting back out. All right, so that's yellow. Now lastly, we're going to cover blue, or fast style. This is my favorite style to actually play with. It's fun. You're landing a lot of hits on your opponent as they're swinging, especially versus red. You can land a whole bunch of swings in on them if your timing's correctly. Now, the issue with blue or fast style is there is pretty much no defense here. The saber's down. It's at my waist the whole time. Look, he totally missed the swing and still hit me as I came in. Yeah, see, he can break my defense pretty easily. So blue's generally considered the hardest style to actually fight with by most players. I won't say all. Some people kind of catch on pretty quickly, but it's very hard to stay alive using blue. Now the timing here for blue, we've done the beginning of the swing, the middle of the swing. Blue's going to be kind of the same with red, but I'm going to attack him at before he starts his swing and after his swing ends each time. So I can pull in 2 or 3 swings in his 2-swing combo if I time it correctly. The same thing goes for blue. We're going to A and D the whole time. We're using that mouse. Now the blue swings are sweeping, meaning you got a little bit longer time that you can hit him and kind of drag that mouse across. Come on, pick it up. Kind of drag that mouse across, and you can swing it into him instead of, having to land just a solid strike. You can drag it and swing it through him. Now, when we are attacking with blue, we generally go for the same kind of figure 8, in and out. I do not recommend a 2-swing combo unless you are very comfortable with this style, because, like I said, you have no real defense here, and you're leaving your whole side open when you're running back out with that combo. Now on every style, your A swing or your left swings are going to be faster. So if let's say I start combos with yellow and I'm using D versus the A is my first swing. So if you start with that left swing, it's a little bit faster of a combo. So you can kind of use it as a faster method of attack here. So we're going to do the same thing. It's kind of that big U. It's going to be a little wider generally with blue because I'm dragging my swing through him. I'm not hitting him as the swing is at its apex most of the time. I'm kind of dragging it midway to the end of the swing. So we're going to show you that timing on the counters. Now, as you see him doing, he's doing 3 swing combos. Do not, especially with blue, do not attack a diagonal swing. If you see your opponent, this is where it comes back to you being able to read your opponent. If you see your opponent doing 3 swing combos, do not attack after that second swing, because that diagonal swing is going to come in a lot faster, and you're just going to walk straight into a hit. And with that overhead diagonal like that, it's basically the exact opposite of what blue might actually counter. So you're going to take pretty much the full brunt of that. So what we're doing is what I'm going to try to do, especially in a duel, is I'm going to try to hit him first. So I'm going to come in here, and then he's going to swing again, and I'm going to hit him before the first swing and after the first swing. Now he's doing 3 swing combos, so to be safe, I'm not going to try and counter that second swing. So I want to hit him as he ends the entire combo and as he does his first swing. There is nothing wrong with taking your time, especially with blue. Blue is a low damage swing, but you can eat them up real fast if you're able to land them really quickly. But you have to be careful. This isn't one that you can get impatient with. You have to be able to just kind of hang out in the duel. Let them get impatient, because when the opponent gets impatient, that's when they start making mistakes. And that's what you're going for. You want them to make a mistake. You want them to start going crazy and sitting out there swinging or getting real aggressive with you, and you can counter them. So in my duels, yet again, I'm going to try and stay close to him, but I'm going to try to land that first swing. Now, typically in a duel, you're not going to have an opponent doing 3 swing combos out here. So he's going to do mostly 2 swing stuff. And I'm just going to come in. If you want to be real safe, just wait for the end of his entire combo. See, he did a 3 swing there and caught me with it. The fun part about blue is you have a lot of time that you can counter in here. See, those red swings, when they actually hit you, they hurt bad, especially versus blue. Like that. So what, I got a little impatient there. That's why I'm getting hit. So what I'm wanting to do here is, and he did a 3rd swing. Nothing that I'm showing you at this point. Here, Nels, you go blue for a minute. This is why we recommend blue not being your style of choice there, because it is extremely difficult to use, especially if you're distracted, like making a video. And we are, there we go. And there's a little bit more proficient in that style, I would say. So we have covered your footwork. Your footwork in every style is going to be basically the same. It's just changing your timing and changing your swing types. But it's always going to be that kind of A and D, that back and forth. I'm using my mouse to move in and out. And it's all about staying alive. It's all about how can I hit him without taking any damage as often as possible. And that's your biggest thing. Unbind that W key, unbind the S key if you have to, and you will start to realize just how much you rely on. You can ask any of my students in NGN. They rely on it a lot, and they don't realize it until you unbind it, and then you're just standing in the middle of a duel, and you go to hit that S key to back away, and your opponent just lands a solid hit because you're used to running away with S. I've shown in the prior video, that S key is a lot slower. Your W key is really slow too. And when you're running in a straight line like that, all your opponent has to do is sidestep it, and he can land solid hits on you. And he's going to be a lot faster than you are with a W key. But if I'm coming in and out and I'm chasing him with my mouse, it's going to speed me up, and I can stay right on top of it. So I'll let Niels use blue one more time. Watch his placement on me. He's going to stay pretty close, and he's just going to come in when I'm wide open. You don't want to get too aggressive here, because if you go running into that, especially on a server that's not MP damages, and maybe they're wiggling or they're poking or whatever, it's going to hurt. It's going to probably kill you in a hit or two. There we go. He still had 166 health, and I hit him a couple times. So, just recaps. A and D keys. That's your important method there. If you're finding yourself backing up in the middle of a duel or jumping away in the middle of a duel, and we'll cover those later, those counter aerials and why jumping is a bad idea in later videos. But if you find yourself jumping every time you need a dodge, you need to either unbind some keys or really focus on that mouse movement and your A and D keys. Change direction. A jump is very linear. I can't change direction while in the air. So if I jump at you, I'm not going to be able to move from here to way over here if you go running. So all you have to do is do a slight change of direction in your path, and you will dodge that move. So that will be the end of video 2, lesson 3 for the basics of sabering. Anybody got anything to add before we X out of here? Make sure to check us out on our website. Hit us up on the server. You can type this, and that'll connect you straight to our main server. Definitely sub to our channel. This will be a very long ongoing series. We've already got some pretty good feedback from around the community, and we are just trying to open up possibilities for newer players, or for even older players that never really got a formal training. There's a lot of information that you're not given just by jumping in a server and hacking away at people in an FFA. So we're just trying to give out some of that information that may not be readily available. A lot of the tutorials online are based in the single player campaign style of the game, or it's more focused toward higher skill level players. So we're trying to kind of break it down from the start. We'll get into those higher skill levels. I might even have other instructors or masters come in and kind of lead those videos, lead those tutorials, and give you guys a mixture of stuff. But thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and come check us out.